Yeah. It works now. Thank you. How
Thank you.
are you today?
Not bad, thank you.
Okay, so good. I will share the screen in about the what's that?
Mahamangala Sutra, yeah.
Maha Mangala Sutra. And
Yeah.
the verse 3, right?
Yeah. And I want to ask a question. Do you
Mm.
recite the sutra at your place?
Uh, I have received the third book from you.
All right.
Yeah, we have received. Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. Let us go to the first one again.
Mm-hmm.
Bahudeva Manusacha. So, this particular person who has controlled himself, when you say controlled, he has controlled the system not to get into hurtful situations. That is what it means. Now the question is why he has got stuck if he has followed Buddha's teachings. So he may have not followed Buddha's teachings,
Yeah.
which shows because otherwise Buddha, if he knew the Buddha's teachings, he wouldn't have come to discuss with Buddha in this particular thing. Make sense?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
we have to realize that this person has controlled himself by following some other methods. I don't know. It doesn't say that. So that's another point we have to make here. So since we have understood the first part, Bahudeva Manusacha Mangalani Achintayam Akankamana Sottanam Bruhi Mangalamuttama. So he's asking, I have controlled myself so much, but I can't proceed with this path for total calmness. Why?
Mm.
Akankamana. There is a obstruction from the mana. Mana is, self-pride. Okay,
Yes.
now we have to realize that whenever I have to tell you a few things. Whenever people are dealing with upadana rupa, we all do that. When we are dealing with upadana rupa, all right,
Mm.
our body particles tend to change when we
Yeah.
see something. Now see, we have studied the rupa, vedana, sanya, sankara, vijnana. These are the five aggregates of a thought, five parts of a thought which we studied long time ago.
Yeah.
Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. Now, Buddha's advice is don't go beyond Sanya. If you go beyond Sanya, when Sankara and Vijnana comes into the system, you have to face the suffering. So if you
Yes.
want to stop the suffering, you have to stop at Sanya. Now the question is how to stop at Sanya. Because Sanya is the way of identifying whether that will, if I entangle or if I attach to that, will I be able to get some happiness? The Buddha says don't attach to them because Sanya says attach, 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 but don't listen to Sanya, then you won't get Sankara and Vijnana. If you get Sankara, Sankara is there is a change in the physical system. All the particles would change to a certain extent depending on how bad your attachment is, how strong your attachment is towards such things, worldly sources. So it depends on how strong your attachment is, you get the sankara. Sankara is change your system. So sankara, when there is sankara, it leads to dvesha. Dvesha, you have studied desha. So desha is to do with sankara. Higher the sankara, higher the dvesha. Dvesha is, anger.
Yeah.
So when the body is changing, you get the sankara. Sankara is changing, then you get the desha or the anger or hatred, whatever you call. Anyway, so just keep that in mind. So this person has got self pride, we say mana, but it has got other things as according to these teachings. Not only the self pride, he has got sankara as well. Because it's
Yes.
not written there, but of course it's full of it's a package of unwholesome
Thing.
actions are
Yeah.
with all
Yes.
together. So I had to be very careful when you are using the terms. As I said earlier, I can't say
Mhm.
thoughts because there are no good thoughts and bad thoughts. All thoughts are bad. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So if we have heard about people when they preach, they say good thoughts. No, there's no such thoughts. Reality is that anyway. All right. Now Asevanacha Bala, then the Asevanacha Balanang, the second one, Asevanacha Balanang. So the very first advice is don't associate with things that hurts you. Asevanacha Balanang, don't associate with things that hurts you. So
Mm.
thoughts, that's purely thoughts. Don't associate with bad thoughts.
Mm.
All thoughts. So don't create thoughts. Can we live without thoughts? Yes, we can. Because if we see something, if we won't attach to that strongly, so we are living without thoughts. People think we can't live without thoughts, which is not right. We can live without thoughts as long as our system won't get changed, sankar and vinyan. So in these 6 parts of a thought, if you have got 3 parts, that doesn't mean that it is completed thought. It's not a complete thought. So you complete only 3 parts of a thought. Unless you complete all 5, it won't. It doesn't work as a thought. Can you understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to complete all 5 to produce a thought. You can't have 3 parts out of 5 to complete a thought. So people think when I see something, now there's another thing I would like to say. Okay, so asevana cha balanam panditanam cha sevana. I'll tell that in a minute. So asevana cha balanam panditanam cha sevana. So sevana means associate. Now see, there's another thing I had to raise here just to show you. Okay, go to this particular part. It says asevanacha balana. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now look at the first term or the first word. Asevana, right?
Yeah.
Asevana. So starting with capital A. Sure? Capital A.
Yeah.
Then asevana. Asevana. Then look at the last term. Sevana. Look at the last term of that line.
Yeah.
First
Seven.
line. Sevana.
Yeah. I see. Seven.
Sevana and other one is asevana. So there is a in front of the first one. That capital A is not there in the last one. Can you see that?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
see.
So it's sevana is associate, asevana is don't associate.
Oh, yeah. It means not.
Yeah, this seven means don't. Seven means
Don't.
yes, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Associate. It's like yes and no.
Okay.
Seven. Seven. So there are in Magadhi language there are a lot of things with uh, same word with a adjective to show the
Yeah.
opposite of that.
Hmm.
Sevana,
Okay.
asevana. So that's a good point to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Cha is another one. Now see, the next word is cha. Then
Yeah.
cha, cha, asevana cha,
Yeah.
panditanan cha. So they are associate, don't associate with.
Then the session with, right?
Associate
Cha.
with is cha is associate with. So
Oh.
associate with don't. Asevana.
Mm.
Don't is the first one.
Sedana.
Asevana, sevana is cha, cha sevana. Panditanang cha. So it's
Cha.
asevana cha,
Cha.
balanang cha, balanang. So you can read the other way also now. In Magadhi,
Balana.
yeah,
Ba.
Magadhi language goes from the bottom to the top, meaning.
Okay.
Not like our ones, it's going from left to right. But Magadhi goes from, our one goes from left to right, it goes from right to left sometimes. So there are a bit of differences. Anyway, we'll see those things, in detail later on, not yet. So just I am pointing out to put your, eye on that. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Asevana cha balanam panditana cha sevana puja cha pujaniyana. So that particular way of living, asevana cha balanam panditanam cha sevana means now this Buddha advised this person to live the life along those lines.
Mm.
What is it? That is along which line? The don't associate with hurtful thoughts and associate with concepts which will make you with no hurts,
Mm.
no hurting. So asevanacha balanang panditanancha sevana. So adhere to that particular part and try to remember and say. Next line says puja cha. Now see, there also cha is there. Now see, you can see cha cha cha. Can you see that three word
Yeah.
at 3 points?
Yeah.
3 points, cha.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
so you can see, it's not difficult now getting there. It's you can see asevana, sevana, cha cha. So puja cha, do it. Don't do it. Do it.
Okay. Don't do it.
Something like that. So you can figure out what cha means.
Mm.
Asevana cha. It's like must, not, or do not, or something like that.
Oh.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, so puja cha. So we were asked to puja means uh, respect. When you do
Oh.
a puja means respect. Or normally we say puja is worshipping, but
Worship.
worship. But I would say uh, Buddha is asking to worship not to anybody, rather to yourself, because you are the person who is following this method to bring you calmness. So the method puja cha pujaniyana. So either to there are two ways of worshipping or respecting. Once you stick to this particular instruction, asevana cha balanang panditanang cha sevana. I'm not going to associate with hurtful thoughts. I'm going to associate with concepts which will allow me to bring calmness. So that is the uh, instruction. That right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So while I'm explaining, don't try to read what is underneath, because I want to send the message across with exactly what this means, because I can't write all these things under that one. It might go for pages.
Yeah,
I just pinpointed. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So, oh, 5 barriers obstruction calmness. Yeah, that's very good point somebody has made. So I agree with that. Yes, those are the 5 hindrances. So don't associate with 5 hindrances. Kama, chanda, vyapada, thinamidda, uddhacca, kukkucca, vichikicha. So don't associate with them,
Mm.
although we believe it brings you happiness to a certain extent temporary. Buddha says don't do that. Try to be away from them and be calm. Then you can become a calm person. So puja cha puja niyana. There are two things that you can take from that. Either you respect the instruction given in the first line. Puja cha puja niyana means you better respect the instruction given by Buddha in the first line,
Mhm. Mhm.
or respect the outcome that you get through that particular instructions. So what's the outcome or the results?
Mhm.
Or the results or the the benefits that
Retribution,
you
benefit.
get, yeah, benefits that you get from adhering or practicing what Buddha said. You can either respect that or that, okay,
Mm.
or you can respect yourself, who is the person who is following it. So there are 3 things you can think of. First one is sticking to the instructions. You can respect the instructions because it's giving some relief to your system. Number 2 is you can respect the relief that you are getting out of that. Number 3 is you are the person who is doing that. You respect yourself. Or you can respect all 3 situations. Make sense?
Which kind of 3 situations?
First one is following the instructions given in the first line,
Okay.
the benefits I get, and the person who is doing is myself. So all 3 have to be respected, otherwise it won't get materialized or it won't get the results. So either you have to respect all 3: the
Yeah.
instructions, the benefits, and the person who is practicing it. That is yourself.
Okay. Okay.
So either you respect 3 or 2 or 1, still you are going along that line. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Clear.
so now
Thank
see,
you.
there are so many things that you can think of by looking at asevana cha balanang panditanang cha sevana puja cha pujaniyanang etam mangalamuttam. I can present a discourse for more than 1 hour by looking at these terms if I wanted to. Because puja is what, pujanang is what, etang is what, mangala is what, muttamang is what, asevana is what. Then I can say asevana is kama, tanna, rati, ragal. I can go for 2 hours of, for a discussion of 2, 3 hours,
Thank you.
but I'm reducing that here. But because you have studied the other things for a while. So it's actually you can, look back and see what you have studied and bring them to this verse, which is good. So last one is etam mangala muttama. So you respect, and the outcome or the results or the benefits that you get to your system
Mhm.
is cannot be compared. It's like a reward. Etang mangala muttama. There is no such a reward a system can get, that calmness, by following what is given by the first two parts or the first line, and respecting, as I said, three situations: the instructions, the benefits, and the person itself. So, such, I won't use the word happiness. That relief was happiness is attachment. So, you can't
Yeah.
get happiness through this. You get a relief. What is the relief? Relief from the hurtful situations. So I'll be very careful when I'm explaining this. I can't say it's happiness you get. If I say happiness, I am asking you to go for attachment. Attachment is happiness. No, not that happiness we are talking about. This is a relief. Relief from the hurtful situation. So Buddha said right at the beginning to this person to calm you down from the very first one, the problem of that person is the mana, pride. So to release you from the mana, first realize what's happening. This first one is the realization of the problem just by looking at the instructions given in the first part of the
Right.
answer. Although it's the second verse, it's the first part of the answer of the Buddha. Make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, right. We'll go to the next one. We did that last time. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Number 3, please.
Okay.
Slowly. Yeah, yeah, that's good. Thank you. Here I had to say a few. Pati Rupa Desa Vasocha. There are 4 sounds. Pati, Rupa, Desa, Desava, Socha. Ubbecha. Now see that cha is coming again.
Mm.
Ubbecha Kata Punyata. If you look at the next line, Atta Samma Panidicha, again cha comes.
Mm.
Etam Mangala Muttamang, the same thing of the previous one as the last part. So the last part is common to all 10 items. All right?
Yeah.
Which I said yesterday. Yeah. Now see, Pati. Pati means, actually Pati means, there are so many ways you can look at it. Because Buddha's teachings are, it's called Pati means responding, as I said. If one responds, Pati. That's what I have written there, response, Pati. And associates, they, Patirupa Desava, with fake images. That is what I have written there.
Mm.
So we can put it like this way. If we look at the real, if we can come back to, instead of reading this, anybody who reads this first look at what's going on in his or her system. Make sense?
Yeah.
Now, what we how you accept or reject what Buddha says, you put it into your system and see whether it works. So you can put it to your system and see whether it works to you. If it works, you accept. If it doesn't work, you reject. That's what happens normally. Now, in that perspective, I would give the meaning in a different manner, but it's very close to what I have written, but to make it easy to understand. Pati. Pati is, it is the policy of every human being. Pati. Rupa is looking at outside and try to get a rupa. That's the policy of all the human beings or any other beings, is trying to figure out a rupa of objects to get some happiness. Desa vasocha, that is the place, environment is full of rupa. So associating with that, that is the policy of the people. Correct?
Mm.
So you don't have to stick to one particular term. You can look at, you can expand that, explore that response. So if I say pati is response, so it can be responding, it can be a policy. Now see, responding is a policy. Is that right?
Yeah.
Responding is a policy. So it's no harm saying that pati is policy,
Policy.
quality. Not quality.
Policy.
It's a responding policy. Policy. P.
Policy. Okay.
Policy. Policy.
Okay.
The way of living. Way of living. Policy.
Way of living. Okay.
I'll stick to my policy. I won't change it. Something like that. You stick to your policy. So people say, can you do this? No, I can't do that because my policy doesn't, agree with that. But here, everybody's
Exactly.
policy, yeah, that's the term. Policy is to catch the rupa from the outside, to have a
Yeah.
happy life. But Buddha says environment is full of rupa. Your policy or you are responding to catch them, then what happens? Buddha says if you happens socha means dukkha or unhappiness. Patirupa desa
Calm.
socha.
Happiness.
Socha means unhappiness. You bring socha into your system. Socha is unhappiness.
Mm-hmm.
I have written there sorrowfulness. So you undergo sorrowfulness. So to bring the sorrowfulness into your system. Now see, this is the practical side. To bring the Buddha says you go and search for something from outside, that is your policy, catch the rupa of various things and put it as upadana rupa. When Buddha says rupa, it is actually meant by upadana rupa because you can't catch them without creating upadana rupa. Make sense?
Yeah.
So you can't catch them without producing upadana rupa in your system. All right?
Yeah.
Up to there, yeah. But it brings suffering. Socha means suffering. It brings temporary happiness, of course, but when it ends, you get the sorrowfulness or the unhappiness.
Mm.
Socha. Then
Socha.
Buddha,
It
Buddha
means
says socha. Yeah,
dukkha.
socha. Sokha, there's another word,
Socha.
soka, socha, ola, bring the same meaning.
Suffering.
Socha and soka. Socha means worse than soka. Now see, when there is when you are unhappy, now see, there is a word called dukkha. There is a called dukkha domanassa, right? In
Mm.
Pali. What that means is when the dukkha goes through your entire system, suffering goes into your entire system, every part of the system, the body, the particles, right?
Yeah.
Here comes the tears. Tears are coming from the system. So
Chemical reaction.
yeah, that means soka is spreading everywhere in the system, then brings the tears, crying,
Crying.
crying. So people
Mm.
are crying because soka is going through the spreading through the entire system. So shock has to, or the suffering has to spread through the entire system to bring the tears into the eyes. Happiness or unhappiness, both, not only one. Because when some people are very happy, the tears comes because that reacts with all the particles in a positive manner, temporarily positive manner brings the tears.
Yeah.
So we say happy tears and sorrow tears, but both are
Mm.
end up with sorrowfully, I would say. Anyway, now see how many things to explain in these, few terms. Pati, Rupa, Desa, Vaso. It's a big, story. Buddha used only 4 words to explain everything, that part. Then Buddha says, Pubbeta Kata Punyata. Now, I want you to focus on, instead of the Pali or the Magadhi language, I want you to focus on the meaning.
Yeah.
As I
It's
said, so
better.
if once you absorb the meanings, then later you can figure out the meanings of the terms. So
Mm.
the
Yeah.
story, you have to, understand the sutra, what the sutra says. So now let us look at whether Buddha is on the right track or not. Should not
Mm.
say that, but Buddha is
Should,
definitely on the right
should,
track.
yeah. On the
Now,
right track.
say somebody is from not knowing about Buddhism or Buddhism. Somebody, some neutral person came and said, I want to check whether Buddha is on the right track. Yes, always, because Buddha said, don't accept without inquiring. Buddha said, don't be a blind, person to accept everything. What I said, that's what Buddha said.
Yes.
So there is a freedom for anybody to check. Even us can
Yeah.
check whether Buddha is on the right track. So question is mana, is a pride. Will that pride can go down? Yes, because the pride is coming from the rupa.
Yes.
Because rupa is giving the pride. Because that person is thinking, I control everything. Through what? By looking at everything and say, I have control whatever I see. So it's coming from the rupa. It is not. But still the mana is there. The pride is there. So pride has come through controlling the outside things. It's joined with the rupa. That's why Buddha says. Then next one says, Pubbecha kata punyata. Pubbe means all. Pubbe is all the abilities that you have incurred so far. Kata punyata. So bring all your strength here to realize what I'm talking about. Pati Rupa Desa Vasocha. To understand those 4 words, what they say, Pati Rupa Desa Vasocha, use all the abilities that you have incurred throughout your life up to now. Intellectuality, your abilities, past experience, what you have gained in the past, controlling power, everything has to be utilized here. Can you follow me what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So Pubbecha Kata Punyata means that. So if Pubbecha Kata Punyata means use all your abilities. Now see, when you look at the abilities, now I have to say something interesting. Our system is fighting always with 2 things in this life. It is not written here, but this is what Buddha said in another sutra. I'm just bringing that idea. Now, We are fighting. There is a conflict within us. What is the conflict? On one side, the equanimity is there. That is neutrality. Is fighting with attachment. One side says, one part says attach, other one says no, don't attach. It's like, in a dilemma. Now see, if you are trying to do something, you may in a dilemma. Am I to do it or not? Am I going to get this job? Am I going to accept this job or that job? Make sense?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. So am I going to get hurt by doing this or not? Now see, so that's
Yeah.
so always going on in every human being system. It is a conflict.
Mm.
We are living with a conflict all the time. So that's why
Conflict.
doubt
Okay.
comes. The doubt is there. The doubt. Kamachanda Vyapada Tinamidu Uddachuku Kucha Vichigicha. That's the doubt. So there is a conflicting process going on in the system. Without our knowledge, that's the problem. Without our knowledge, they are there to have a war, sort of a war in our system. Don't do that. Do it. Don't do that. Do it. Something like that. Okay. So
Yeah.
that, keep that also in mind, which is a good, interesting thing. Anyway, Pubbeta Kata Punyata. Then Buddha says, if you realize Rupa is there, Rupa is giving the trouble for this self pride, is the Rupa, is the culprit, or is the reason. To realize that, use all your abilities, Pubbeta Kata Punyata, discuss with yourself inside. Is it right or wrong? Is it right or wrong? Analyze. That's Buddha is telling us to analyze. Buddha is telling us to check whether Buddha is on the right track in a different manner. Not directly, but indirectly. Ubbeta kata punyata. Atta samma panidita. Then what will happen? Atta is, you will realize that you are becoming calm now, little by little. You are
Hello,
becoming.
baby.
Hmm? The next line.
Mm.
Next line, Atta samma panidita. Next part. First part of the samma panidita. You get the some sort of a relief, some sort of a, I would say feeling, but uh, awareness. Awareness is the term, better word than feelings. Awareness that your system is not burning anymore. Now, as I said yesterday, this Rupa is bringing the light waves. Light waves are hitting on the ice. And Buddha says it will make a fireball. All,
Fireball.
all the all the I said that yesterday, if you can remember.
What does fireball mean? It's a
Fireball means,
particle.
the Rupa brings fire,
Oh yeah.
because
Rupa
it's
brings
coming
fire.
through the waves, light
Waves.
waves. Now
Yeah.
see, when I don't know whether you have, you may have done physics. If you have done physics, okay,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
there's a curvature, if you bring the light like that, right, it
Mm.
will hit on
Yeah.
that. It's a
Yeah.
glass one, and
Mm.
if you keep something here, you can burn it, because all the light
Yeah,
rays,
I can.
coincide
Yeah,
that at a point. So it's like that. It brings the heat and the
yeah.
fire. So Buddha says all these rupa bring the fire into your
Oh,
system. So you can see your system is atta is cooling down. Your system is cooling down. That is what it says, atta samma. panidita. You can feel your system is cooling down. All sort of things can be said here. Atta samma panidita. Panidita means it is so nice, so helpful, so
Superior.
admirable. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it's very nice, rewarding. It's inviting. Uh, that the invitation is so peaceful. So pleased to have that invitation because it brings cool,
Mm.
cooling system. The system,
Yeah.
so fire is extinguished now. So fire is
Yeah.
extinguished. Therefore, I get a relief, big relief. Atta samma panidita, etam mangala muttama. So there is no such reward in this life one can get. Atta etam mangala muttamang is always the same meaning. So it says right at the bottom, it says there is no any other superior and unprecedented reward or reward that a person could achieve in this life. All right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll come to that again and explain. We'll go to the verse 4, please. I want to go.
Okay.
I want to go of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then come back and go
Okay.
again and again and again, so that finally, when you go to the 10th one or the 11th one, you get a good line of thinking, what Buddha has said.
Yeah.
Now, Buddha realized this. Now, see what a way of explaining in the next one if you look at the meaning.
Mm.
Bhavahu satchancha sippancha. Buddha says, I know that it is not easy. You have to develop lot of skills. So
Mm.
skill development program has to be done here to achieve what I said earlier. Bahu
Mm.
is lot of. Satchancha means you have to talk with you, practice with you, Silpa, different methods, strategies, skill. You have to be very skillful on this. Bahu Satchancha Sippancha. Discuss and examines the most relevant techniques and utilize them truthfully to develop a skill
Mm.
clarified above by oneself. So what it means is, it is not easy. I know that. I have gone through that. Buddha's experience telling to us. So it's not an easy. So Buddha knows whether it's easy or not. So how nicely put by the Buddha, the listener.
Yes. Yes.
So Buddha realized the learner's problem. Instead of dictating terms, do that, do that, do that. I'll give you a good example. A good teacher say when you give a some sort of a mathematical problem to a child, if the child, so what's the idea of the teacher? Teacher's idea is to bring the right answer to onto the table. Is that right?
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. So
Yeah.
if the child made a mistake and got the wrong answer, what would be the reaction of the teacher? Good teacher.
Good teacher.
Good teacher or a bad teacher? Bad teacher
Harmful.
might call
Harmful.
at that person, shout at that child, So finally, child might, get bad thoughts, and sometimes child might say, mathematics. That mathematics, I hate that.
Yeah.
Finish.
Yeah. Hate mathematics. Yes.
Yeah. So why? The teacher has not done the trick properly. So what a good teacher would do? Teacher says, yes,
Comfort.
child, yes, son, you have made a mistake, doesn't matter. I also made so many mistakes in my life in mathematics when I was at that age. Don't worry, you try it again, try twice. Next time also he makes the mistake. You say to him, don't worry, try, try. Then you boost the morale of the child. So child likes the maths. You can change in
Yeah.
a few words, you can change. Same thing here. So Buddha says, I know that it's not easy. Bhav satyancha sippancha. So you have to bring all your abilities, techniques, truthfully you have to do this, you have to go for a skill development program to get all these things what I said. Vinayocha susikkito. Vinaya means discipline. Vinayo means discipline. You have to discipline yourself. So
Explain.
that means stick to what you are going to practice. Don't allow that to go here and there. Stick to that. Vinayocha susikkito. Then only you can, secure yourself on that particular task. So don't vaguely go up, here and there. Just stick to that. Make sense?
Yeah.
So first part says Bahu Satyancha Sippancha. You need a lot of skills. You have to discuss among yourself about what I said earlier in the first 2 or 3 verses. The instructions, I would say, look at the instructions properly, look at what's happening, and try to figure out what exactly I have to do. Discipline yourself and secure on that particular discipline. Make sense?
Yeah.
That's the first line.
Oh.
That's the first line. Bhav satyancha sippancha vinayocha susikkito. Now see, if you can't remember those things, doesn't matter. But if you can remember what Buddha said, very first one is, okay, self-pride. Buddha says, don't go to hurtful thoughts. Go to good concepts. Like that, if you can remember these things, later you can find the meanings of the Magadhi terms. So then we said, Rupa is giving all these troubles. Now Buddha says, to understand what I said earlier, to understand the instruction that I have put forward, it is not easy, I know that, but you have to train yourself. You have to practice these things little by little. Now, when you practice something little by little, now see, any skill that you develop, anybody in this world, start with the zero practice. Then you go on, gradually increase that practice. When you increase that practice, say you have increased to 20%, 80% is lacking. When you go to 30%, 70% lacking, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you go on increasing your abilities and the skill. So that the energy that you put, there's a term called virya. Virya means your intention and your determination comes from what you achieve. Now see, when you achieve 20%, the that 20% boosts your morale to go for 30%. When you go for 30%, that 30% allows you to go for 40%. That is the
Mm.
virya in Buddha says, that is how the virya develops. That is the determination develops in any
Oh.
training. So who is helping? The practice that you have gained is helping. If you look at what you have not gained, then you go backwards. You never look at what you have not gained. You look at what you have gained and you have to
Mm.
improve that. So you can say to yourself, you can be happy with what you have gained in this practice.
Yes.
Because you gain a little bit, doesn't matter. The little bit becomes bigger and bigger. That
Yeah.
is the strategy given by the Buddha in other sutras. So Bahu Satyancha Sippancha Vinayocha Susikkito Subhasitacha Yavacha. Don't hesitate to discuss among yourself what you are gaining. That is exactly what the next line says. Subhasita, discuss among yourself. Okay?
Yeah.
And then with good words, vivid words, use vivid words. Don't get anger. Here, I can't do this. I got enough with this. Things like that. Don't do that way. Go with good words when you discuss among yourself. You can discuss with other people also, doesn't matter. But mainly with yourself. Then etam mangala muttamanti. Muttamam. What is that? There is no reward that a person can get through this particular practice. Again, the same thing repeated. So Buddha gives instruction. Okay, go to the next one, please.
5.
Come back here. Now, Buddha says it is not easy to do that. Buddha gives some strategies in the next one. Some strategy, some method, some practical method to start. So Buddha has highlighted what exactly that person should do. Then Buddha is explaining how to do that little by little. Can you see that? Is it clear enough? Buddha said, you have been, caught up with this, rupa, and you are suffering. You are associating with bad thoughts. That's why you are suffering with this self-pride. Then Buddha says, well, I know that it's not easy to get rid of those things, but you have to practice what I said to you. Here is an example. The fifth one says, brings an example to encourage the person to go along with this particular method. I can put it like that way. Encouragement. The fifth one gives the encouragement. It is also not easy, but some sort of encouragement. Okay, look at that. Mata pitu upattana putta darasa sanyao. A mother, just giving an example, mother is looking after her own son. How much love, affectionate is there? Because mother has only one son. So mother is giving full support to make that child happy from the beginning. So Buddha is giving that example. Mata pitu upattana. Skill development program use this particular example. Mother and or father, it doesn't matter, parents would say Mata pitu upattana. So when you are attached to the mother, now see, put it like this way. Mother is attached to the son, son is attached to the. So if it's a big family, then the mother, father, siblings, all the people are there. Make sense? Mother,
Yeah.
father, and friends, children, siblings, friends, relatives. Buddha is telling, when you are dealing with those people, if you attach to them too much, if something goes wrong, you get upset and you suffer. Unhappiness comes in. So Buddha is telling, treat them equally. Treat them equally. Don't attach to anybody strongly. So that is the example Buddha gave. So there is no mother and father of this person. What Buddha is trying to tell this person is, when you are dealing with anything in this world, don't give some sort of, don't divide into, don't, what's the word is, don't attach to. Now see, some people attach to some things more than the others. No discrimination, that's the word. Okay, no discrimination.
Yeah, no discrimination.
No discrimination, that's the word I was looking for. So no discrimination whatsoever when you are dealing with these things. Then
Oh,
only you can release. So when you look at the Rupa, no discrimination, whether I look at, whether I see this or that, no discrimination, I'm going to treat them equally. Then the fear doesn't come in. That is the message.
yes. Oh,
So it's like, giving a message. Everybody is in a family, everybody is treating others without discrimination. So
yeah.
father, mother, children, all are together. They're happy because no discrimination. Impartiality, neutrality, no discrimination. That's the words I have used. Anakulacha kammanta, every action that you are performing, every time, don't bring that particular discrimination. Anakulacha is sort of a discrimination. Make sense?
Yeah.
So that's the example given by Buddha.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go to the next one because tomorrow we can go to the next one and all the 5 again and again. So we go to the 4th one again, just a few minutes. So number 4, please.
Number 4. Okay. Go back to 4, right?
Yeah, please. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, thank you very much. So that then now see, Buddha says, I know that it's not easy.
Buddha is so
But it is,
compassionate.
yeah, Buddha says it's, I know that it is not easy, but Buddha said it is not impossible.
It's
That has to
possible.
be realized also. It is not easy, but it doesn't say it is impossible.
It's possible.
It is
Okay.
possible because Buddha has achieved. Arahants have
Yeah.
achieved. So Buddha knows by himself whether it's achievable or not. So Buddha never preached things that we can't do. Buddha never preached things to do which gives nothing.
Yes.
Because Buddha knows everything in this world. That's what we believe. So if you look at the 9 qualities of the Buddha, Bhagavato, Savaka Sangha, you know, we
Then.
say Buddha's. I just type that. I just take it from this. Easy to find it from here. So okay. So
Mm.
what it says is, one second. What it says is, I thought of putting that thing very briefly. It's not explained fully, but
Mm.
it serves the purpose. Okay.
Yeah.
So Buddha has said, itipiso bhagava. So itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vijjacharana sampanno. I don't know whether you have heard about this. Did you?
Bhagava, I heard it.
So
Yeah.
uh, Bhagava is Buddha is a very
What honored.
fortunate person in the world. Bhagava.
Yeah, fortunate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Arahang means araham is another word.
Arahant.
Araham.
It means
That means
enlightened.
no matter what, can live in this world without getting into any problem, that is, can live calmly no matter what. No matter what happens, Buddha is calm.
Mm-mm. Mm.
That is Arahant. So there are 9 items. We can discuss that later. So 9
Oh,
items
yeah.
are there. Yeah,
Mm,
Buddha's
mm.
qualities of the Buddha, qualities of the Dhamma, qualities of the Sangha.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Maybe I heard something similar. Yeah.
Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Yeah, but that explains in the other sutra that I have written, which will be discussed later, the Ratana Sutra. Before this one, in the book,
Mm,
there's a sutra before this particular sutra, Mahamangala Sutra. Before that is
mm.
Ratana Sutra. Before this, the last one. So the fourth one is Ratana Sutra. The third one is the Karaniyamatta Sutra. Then the other two, Metthanisansa Sutra and Mittanisansa Sutra. So there are
Okay.
two sutras. One is Metthanisansa, other one is Mittanisansa. So that means Metta is compassion, as you said.
Compassion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Method.
for Metta is Maitri. Maitri is compassion. So
Yeah.
what compassion does to your system? Then Mittanisansa means if you don't ignore Mettanisansa, then it will be with you like a friend. So
Mm,
Buddha says no friends other than Metta. Metta is the most reliable friend.
yeah.
That's what he
Reliable
says.
friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that is the sutra Buddha gave. Anyway, all right. Now we'll finish in a minute or two. Just not easy this one. Bhau Satchan Sipancha, so you need a lot of practice, right?
Mm,
Lot of discussion among yourself. Doesn't matter with others. Those who are following the same thing, you can have the discussion with them as well. But they're all going along the same path. Vinaya Susikira, but stick to your determination, produce or enhance your uh, discipline, Vinaya. And then the fifth one says, the last one, today's discussion, what it
this
says.
is
Um,
says to be equal to
yes, that's right. Very good. Yeah, you can remember.
to be
Treat
equal.
everybody equally. Treat everybody equally. Your
Mm-hmm.
parents, because then people won't get annoyed. So if a, if
Yeah.
if a parent is supporting one child more than the other, then there's a conflict
Yeah. There is a conflict. Yes.
within the system, so within the family, which we don't want to see that. So Mata Pitu Pattanang, Mata Pitu means mother and father, Mata Pitu.
Oh, mother,
Mata
Peter.
Pitu means two words, two sounds. Mata
Yours
Pitu,
parents.
parents, yeah, parents. Mata Pitu Pattanang. When you are supporting them, when you are helping them,
Mm-hmm.
equally you have to help. Putta
Mm.
Darasa Sanya, when you are helping your children, help equally. When you are helping your siblings, your brothers, sisters, help equally. When you are
Oh,
helping your sons, daughters, help equally. When you are helping friends and others, because Buddha treat everybody equally. Whether somebody blames Buddha or praises Buddha, the treatment is the same, no change, because then only you can. Why it is so? Because Buddha says, what is the main thing that you have to, look at? Your calmness. So if
yes.
you are looking at your calmness, don't allow your calmness to go away from you, because you are always supporting the calmness. Then you
Yes.
have to be neutral. If you are not
Yeah.
neutral, your calmness go away, then all sort of problems come in. So what you are going to safeguard is your calmness throughout your life. That's what Buddha says.
Have God. Yes.
That's the main. All right, with that, we'll stop there. I have taken a few minutes, so doesn't matter. So, are you tired or are you all right?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking. I'm really happy with yeah, your teaching.
Ah, right, good. That's nice to hear. Yeah, because if you get, I don't want to put too much to get, when you get tired, it's hard to concentrate. So what you
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you do is I know we have to stop because it's sometimes too much. Because I think two verses are enough per day.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
enough. Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
All the best. I'll stop there. Thanks for
Yeah, okay.
listening.
Thank you,
Happy to
Dr. Bobby.
everybody. Thank you very much.
Good
Thank you.
night.
Okay. Thank you.